Hello students, welcome again for the lecture of biology. As we are concerned with the first chapter of the syllabus, that is the reproduction in lower and higher plants. And last lecture we have discussed about so many things, that the the pollinating agents we have discussed so far. Those are the biotic agents, and those are insect pollination, that is entomophily. Then the ornithophily, that is birds are the pollinating agents. And third one, that is the chiropterophily, that is a bat is the agent for the pollination. Then we have also discussed about the adaptations which are observed in this special type of this pollinating agents. That means the depending on the agents of the pollination, they are having different type of the adaptation. Then we have discussed about contrivances or the outbreeding devices, where the self pollination is avoided or it is prevented by the nature, but the cross pollination is allowed. And for that, various types of the uh, different changes that occur in the plants or the flowers, and that prohibit self pollination, while the cross pollination is very easy for them. And hence, as per the nature, that the cross pollination which shows variations, and variation, as you know, that variation leads for the evolution. So various types of the different characters are added and deleted by the same, and hence by the nature the cross pollination is most favor for the plants. Next one, we have also discussed about the pollen pistil interaction. That means certain type of the pollen grains which are only the, we can say, that is a right pollen grain. Intra-specific pollen grains are allowed to the stigma, and the further germination of the pollen tube takes place, and further process that leads for the reproduction or the fertilization that occur. And hence these are the nature's gift, we can say that. Now let us see all these are the requisites or the requirements for the fertilization. Now let us start with the today's topic, that is the fertilization, and of course it is a double fertilization. Before that, we must know the definition or what is the meaning of fertilization. Fertilization is the process, biological means, that the union of two gametes. As you know that gametes are developed as a result of meiosis, and from the one cell, that is a single mother cell, that produces four cells, and these four cells are now haploid, and they are known as the gametes. So both the gametes, that is one from the male and other from the female, two male gametes unite. Actually the nuclei of both the gametes fused, and then the union takes place, which is called as the fertilization. So this is the fertilization. But in what we are talking about, the angiosperm, here the fertilization is called as a double fertilization. So what is double fertilization? Let us see one by one. So this is the characteristic of feature of the angiosperm plants, first discovered by the scientist, that is the Nowotkin, and it is he observed in the Lilium and Fritillaria plants. So those are not common in our area, but they are in that area where he observed and he studied accordingly. So he observed this type of fertilization, which is the double fertilization. Now what I told before, that the fertilization is the simple process. When the single fertilization is there, there is a union of male and female gamete. But here it is a double fertilization. So what is double fertilization? Let us discuss. And before that, we must see that what are the different changes takes place, and what are the different things happen in the during the fertilization. So the first requirement is that the pollen grains deposit on the stigma. So these pollen grains should be of the desired type. That means it is of the intraspecific. Then and then only the stigma that responses, and because of this it gives the stimulation, and the stimulation that leads for the pollen germination. So pollen germination, that is a pollen tube is coming out from the pollen grain, and it is from the germ pore through which the pollen tube comes out. So this pollen tube continues growth from stigma, then styler canal, and it reaches up to an ovule. So it reaches up to ovule and then it enters inside the ovule. So this pathway, it is the siphonogamy. And before that, when the pollen tube enters into the ovule, the entry of this pollen tube into ovule is by three ways, and according to the three ways, they are named as different types. So the entry is made by porogamy, chalazogamy, and mesogamy. So what is the meaning of porogamy or chalazogamy and mesogamy? So let us see here where this takes place in the by three ways. Which are those? Let us see one by one. The first one you can see here, this is the porogamy. As you know that the structure of the ovule is like this. It is the anatropous ovule, and this black line you can see, or the tube, it is the pollen tube, and this entry of pollen tube is through micropylar end. So it goes through, so it enters from this region, that is the micropylar end, and when the entry of pollen tube is by this small pore, that is a micropyle, it is called as a porogamy. It is a porogamy. So this entry is known as the porogamy. Now in second type, that means in different plants different type of the entry of pollen tube takes place. Now in some condition or some plants, this is the porogamy. In the second one, if you see, this pollen tube that enters not from the micropyle, but it is from the chalazal end, and hence this chalazal end, this pollen tube enters, it facilitates its way and it reaches up to the same point where the fertilization is to be happen. So here the pollen tube that enters from not the micropylar, but it is a chalazal end, and hence this second type of the entry of pollen tube is called as chalazogamy. While in the third type, you can see here, in the third type, this pollen tube does not enter not by the porogamy or the chalazogamy, but this pollen tube may enter from the integuments. You know that integuments are the total covering of the ovule, and these are the two integuments are present, and the entry of this pollen tube either this way, left side or the right side, and both they having the entry of pollen tube through the integuments, and hence this pollen tube does not enter from this micropylar or the chalazal, but it is by through the integuments, either this side or the this side, and hence it is called as the mesogamy. So middle part is there, so it is a mesogamy. Chalazal end, so it is the chalazogamy, and when it is a micropylar, it is the porogamy. So this is a entry of pollen tube into the ovule. So in different plants, different type of the entry of pollen tube takes place, but not in one plant all this takes place, but they are of different plants, of course. Now let us see about this again. The first we have discussed about the entry of pollen tube, which is a porogamy, chalazogamy, and mesogamy. Now the second point is the siphonogamy. Siphonogamy means here this pollen tube as it enlarges, and from the stigma, so you can see here by the stigma this entry. So this is the stigma, that is a carpel part, that is a female gametophyte part, and this is a reddish color, you can see here it is a pollen grain. So this pollen grain, it produces the pollen tube. So pollen tube that increases, it facilitates its way through the styler canal. You know this is the style, and from stigma to style, and then this pollen tube that enlarges, growth takes place, and it enters from this region and reaches up to an ovule. So this entry of this pollen tube with the two non-motile gametes. So these are the two non-motile gametes by which the entry takes place, and this non-motile male gametes, that means these male gametes cannot move itself, but they are carried by the pollen tube, and hence they are non-motile, but the pollen tube enlarges, and male gametes, they are carried with the pollen tube. This process is called as the siphonogamy. Now in this way, in short, what is the siphonogamy? Siphonogamy, there is two non-motile male gametes, they are carried with this pollen tube. As it enlarges and it facilitates its way, and it enters into an ovule and reaches up to the site of fertilization. So this is called as the siphonogamy. So in this way, this is the second point we have discussed. Now the third one, what is that? It is the syngamy. So syngamy, here the third point is that it is the union between egg nucleus and first male gamete. So it is the union between egg nucleus and the first male gametes. As you know that there are two male gametes are there. Two male gametes are there, and these two male gametes, they are carried with the pollen tube, and then it enters through the styler canal, and that ultimately it reaches up to an ovule. So this nucleus, which is from the egg, and the second nucleus, that is from the first male gamete, which is carried with this pollen tube, that enters inside this region where I am showing this. So here it is a egg. An egg is situated in between these two cells known as the synergids. So this one or the first male gamete unite with this, and this union here that occur in between this first male gamete along with an egg nucleus. So this is called as syngamy. So what is syngamy? Syn means the union. Syn means the union, and this union takes place between male gamete, first male gamete, with an egg. So it is the formation of zygote. So this is the first fertilization. So what is that? This is the first fertilization. And then the same type, what happens in the next to that, the second male gametes, out of the two male gametes, one male gamete fuses with an egg, with result in the syngamy. That is the first fertilization, and ultimately it produces zygote. Now two haploid nuclei, they unite here, and it give rise to the formation of zygote. Then zygote further changes takes place, that is the divisions takes place, and these divisions, of course, those are the mitotic divisions, and then zygote, that is converted into an embryo, and like this, so on. But the second male gamete, which is carried with the out of these two, that is with the pollen tube that is carried, so one fuses with an egg, and second that discharge here, and it goes to this point towards the center where the secondary nucleus is present. That means actually two nuclei are present in a single cell, that is known as a secondary nucleus. So the secondary nucleus, where it takes place, that the secondary nucleus plus the second male gamete that fuses here, and this union takes place again, but this union is not of two nuclei, but it is of three nuclei, and hence these three nuclei, in which the secondary nucleus already, which consists of two nuclei, and second male gamete consists of the single nucleus. So three nuclei are there, and hence this is called as the triple fusion. So triple fusion takes place as a result of double fertilization. So here the formation of three nuclei, hence it is called as the triple fusion. So triple fusion that leads to the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. So primary endosperm nucleus development takes place as a result of double fertilization. So these two types of the fertilization takes place. The first one is the syngamy, and second is the triple fusion. As we have discussed before, that the syngamy, that is the union of two nuclei, one is from egg nucleus and another is from the first male gamete, and this result in the formation of zygote, which is the diploid. That means two nuclei fuse, of course it develops into the two nuclei, which is called as a double set of chromosomes, and hence it is called as a diploid nucleus. So the syngamy results in the formation of zygote, while the triple fusion, that is the union between the secondary nucleus and two male gamete, or two that means the second male gamete, that union of three nuclei, hence it is called as a triple fusion, and the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. In shortcut it is called as the PEN, PEN, that is the primary endosperm nucleus. So primary endosperm nucleus, this is the second or double fertilization, we call as a double fertilization. Now this double fertilization, this is the characteristic of angiosperm. That means such a type of the fertilization does not occur in any other group of the plants. That means in algae, in bryophytes, fungi, pteridophytes, such a type of fertilization is not seen, but it is only the unique character of the angiosperm, which is observed by the Navaschin in Lilium and Fritillaria plants. So this is all about the double fertilization. Now this double fertilization, where it takes place in the angiospermic plants, it has so many significance. So what are the significance? What is the uses of this double fertilization? Let us see one by one. So the first one, that is it is a unique character, as I have told before, that it is a unique characteristic only observed in the angiosperm. Then second, it is formation of the seed. Now the seed is not common character in other plants like the bryophyte, pteridophytes, or the algae or the fungi, but seed is developed only in this gymnosperm as well as the angiospermic plants. And seed that store the food material. Actually, what is seed? Seed that store the food material for the growth of embryo, and then this seed after germination that give rise to the plantlet and the adult plant, of course. So the seed that is developed, which is the significance of double fertilization, which is not seen in other plants or the plant group. Then next one, that is there is a formation of the zygote, or the diploid zygote is developed, and this is what the changes takes place in the zygote, which undergo many mitotic divisions to form an embryo, and ultimately eventually it develops into the new plant. So this is the third type of the significance that is seen in double fertilization. Next one, that is the triploid PEN provides nutrition. That is the triploid primary endosperm nucleus. So primary endosperm nucleus, after the many divisions, mitotic divisions, it is developed into the endosperm formation. So endosperm, as we have discussed, that it is the union of three nuclei. So it is a triploid, and hence when the triploid nature is there, it consists of plenty amount of food material. So much amount of food material is there, and which provides the nourishment for the developing seed and the seed that is plantlet, and hence this seed that enlarges in size and shows many types of the divisions, mitotic divisions, and that give rise to the plantlet. So in this way, this triploid condition of the endosperm that provides the plenty of food material, that is the nutrition that is given to the seeds or the embryo, developing embryo, of course. And third, next one, that is the fourth one, fifth one, that is the syngamy. Here the syngamy restored diploid condition. Means what? As we have discussed, that the gametes are developed as a result of meiosis, and gametes are, of course, always are haploid. That means single set of chromosome is present. But you know that when the body is there, plant body or animal body, it is a diploid. Cell is consists of diploid nature, that is the two sets of the chromosomes. And when the gametes are developed, these gametes are haploid, that is single set of chromosome. But when the syngamy takes place, that is result in the formation of the zygote, and zygote is two sets of chromosome, that is it become diploid. And hence if you see in the syngamy and the triple fusion, that is double fertilization, the basic difference is that The syngamy, it is the genetic type of the reproduction, genetic fertilization we can say, while the triple fusion, it is the vegetative type of the reproduction. Vegetative, that means it does not alter the changes in the genetic or the characters, but it is only for the nutrition. But syngamy, we can say that it is a genetic type of the reproduction, and hence the syngamy that restored diploid condition, and the new, that is the seed, as well as the new plantlet which is developed, that maintain the diploid condition. And the last one, that is having it avoid the polyembryony. As the name indicates, there are maybe chances that many ovules are present, and the second male gamete may that fuse with the other, and that may result in the formation of many embryos. But when the second male gamete is utilized, then it is for the formation of PEN, that is the primary endosperm nucleus, and hence this double fertilization that avoid the polyembryony. In this way, these are the different significance of double fertilization. There may be question in the board exam, what are the significance of double fertilization, or give the significance of double fertilization. So this we have about 6 characters, we have 6 significance we have discussed, that it has the unique characters only present in angiosperm, then seed store plenty of the food material, then the diploid zygote is developed, and that zygote undergo many mitotic divisions to give rise again an embryo, while the next one, that is the formation of the endosperm, which is result from the triploid fusion, which give rise the secondary nucleus fuse with the secondary male gametes, and it give rise to the triploid. So endosperm is developed, and endosperm play an important role during the embryo development, where it nourishes the developing embryo, and hence this is the very good, or this is the very characteristic type of the significance that is for the double fertilization. And next one is the syngamy, which restore the diploid condition when the gametes are haploid, but when they unite, then again the diploid condition is maintained in the zygote and ultimately into the developing embryo. And the last one, that is the it avoids the polyembryo. So in this way, this is the significance. These are points very important and may be asked in the exam. Oftenly it is asked in many times, that is the double fertilization. Now let us see the next point, that is the formation of endosperm. Now endosperm, which is the union of the secondary nucleus with the second male gamete, and it develops to primary endosperm, and from this primary endosperm development takes place. Now endosperm development takes place by 3 ways. So in different plants, different type of the endosperm formation takes place. So the types of endosperm which are given here, those are the nuclear type of the endosperm formation, second is the cellular, and third one is the halobial. Now as the name indicates, let us discuss the first one, that is the nuclear type of the formation of endosperm, where this zygote, or this is the zygote which undergo the formation of the endosperm. In the first or the previous one, see here, this zygote, this is the oospore, and then there is a development of the endosperm. Now this endosperm development is having such a type where this nucleus divides. Of course, now remember all the time that this division, of course, it is only mitotic type. When the meiosis occur, then it does not occur again, but the further development, those are of course mitotic type, and hence here the endosperm development takes place in this way, that this nucleus undergo division without formation of the cell wall. That means cell wall are not developed in the beginning, but it is the free type, free nuclear division. Nuclei are developed, so one by one number of nuclei are developed, and they gather towards the periphery of the cell, while it leaves the gap at the center. It leaves the gap at the center, and all nuclei, they are collected towards the periphery, and afterwards, that means in the last case, what happened, this nuclei they are then again bounded with the cell wall formation. So this formation of the endosperm is known as the nuclear type of the endosperm formation. Now this endosperm formation takes place where it is called as the free nuclear division. That means in the beginning the nuclei are developed without any type of the cell wall formation, while afterwards in the last again the cell walls are developed with each and every nucleus. So such a type of the formation of endosperm is called as the nuclear type of the endosperm formation, which is a very common in a wheat, sunflower, as well as in a coconut. If you see the coconut water, that is a result of free nuclear division. Okay, so this is the first one, nuclear. Now second one, that is the cellular. Now here in cellular there is a division of the endosperm, primary endosperm of course, and this all nuclei are developed as a result of the division of mitosis. Various or the number of the nuclei are developed, and immediately they are followed by formation of the cell wall. In each nucleus there is a wall formation takes place, and here you can see the mass of the cells, that is the nuclei are there and they are surrounded with cells, and hence it is called as the cellular type of the endosperm formation. This is common in balsam and adoxa. So these are the two examples where the cellular type, actually about 79 families are reported in the angiosperm, those having such a type of the cellular type of endosperm formation. Now the last one, that is the halobial. Now halobial is different in with respect to these two, because it is at the beginning this cells, that is the primary endosperm nucleus, this divides unequally into two, and immediately this nuclei are surrounded with the cell wall formation. So cell wall formation takes place, and then the division is unequal. So towards the chalazal end and towards the micropylar end. Chalazal end having the small type of cell, while the micropylar having the big type of the cells. But the further division, that means the after the first division, two cells are developed, and further division, that is of course mitosis, that nucleus redivides without wall formation. That means again it followed the path of free nuclear division. So in the beginning it is a cellular, and afterwards it follow the path of free nuclear division. So with these two cells which are the result of the first division, these two cells, now nucleus redivides without formation of the wall, and hence it is the again having first it is cellular, and then it is followed the nuclear type of the cell division. So in this way what happened, that is the mixing of these two types, that is the nuclear and cellular. So it is observed in the series of monocot, that is the halobial, and hence this type of the cell division takes place in a mixing of nuclear as well as the cellular type of the cell division. Here we can see that it is the halobial in the series of halobial, it is from the monocotyledon examples, and it is the halobial type of the cellular division. So in this way these are the three types of endosperm formation, that is the nuclear, cellular, and the halobial. So this is all about the formation of the endosperm, how it is taken place in the different types of the plants. Now let us discuss about the embryogenesis, that means the formation of embryo. Formation of embryo, that is it follows the various steps, step by step the development takes place, and hence it is called as the embryogenesis. Now in embryogenesis, in a dicot and in a monocot, the previous steps are the same one, that means up to the octant stage these divisions are the same, but what happens to the next, that is the formation of either two cotyledon, then it goes to the dicot, while it is having the single cotyledon, it is called as the monocotyledon. So in this way this divisions takes place, mitotic divisions up to the octant level is the similar one, same one, but afterwards the changes are occur. Now let us see what happens. So in the first here we can see that there is a formation of the mitosis. Of course what I told before, that after the meiosis, that never starts with the meiosis. but that is the last. That is meiosis takes place at once only. Then the further divisions are only mitotic type. So in this way you can see here the initials are there, two cells are developed, and these two cells further are known as the initials. Here you can see that upper and lower cell, it divides, and it follows the path of the division by the mitosis. So all these divisions are right angle to each other, and this is what we can see, that these divisions are of cells of mitotic type, and this mitotic type of the cell division takes place, and these two cells that redivides, and it forms the mass of the cells. So this development in the dicot as well as the monocot, we will discuss in the next lecture. So let us stop here, because as per the time schedule we have to stop here, and we will continue to the next lecture. So the development of this the formation of the embryo is known as the embryogenesis. So friends, let us stop here, and we will continue to the next lecture. Thank you.